Hello fellow Hoarders of the Blue and welcome to my channel, and welcome to a very tired day indeed, but most importantly welcome to Zero Skill, a series of videos where I show you the simplest and most effective way of painting your models. In this video we will take a look at how to paint blue armor with amazing results in just 3 steps with some optional finishing details. But first, you might wonder where I am. Well, that's a secret for now, but what I can tell you is everything about today's video sponsor, FlexiSpot. I'm sure you already know who FlexiSpot are. They make amazing standing desk, and for today's video they sent me the incredible E7L desk. Building the desk was super easy, the instructions are clear as day and very simple to follow. It's a super premium building experience. Let's get the sexy peel off and take it for a ride. Nice. Of course, it worked the first time and I was shocked at how high this thing actually goes. I'm not a short king at all and this thing goes higher than what I would ever use. The motors in this desk are surprisingly strong. It doesn't seem to even notice an adult on top of it. Amazing. But that's not all. My friends at FlexiSpot also sent me the amazing C7 ergonomic chair, which is one of the most comfortable chairs I've ever used. It really supports my back, and with the setup I can seamlessly switch from sitting to standing work with a simple button press thanks to the memory options in the control panel. If you want to get the E7 desk, the C7 chair, or any of the amazing accessories like the most satisfying drawer ever, listen to this. Oof, so good. If you want any of this goodness, please check the FlexiSpot website and get the lowest price of the year. From the 21st of November till the 5th of December, FlexiSpot are running outrageous offers in most of their products, perfect for your Christmas purchases. So thanks again to FlexiSpot for sponsoring this video, and let's get cracking. As you can see, we are starting from a base coat of grey sear spray, but what we need is an extra shadow, and for this we're going to start with a mix of 1 part vampiric purple to 2 parts express medium. Vampiric purple is a very intense color, so we really need to thin it down so it doesn't well turn the whole miniature purple. But this purple will give us a perfect base coat or a perfect shade or pre-shade for our blue, because Macrack blue is very purple leaning in its composition. So if we add a purple shadow, we are not only is quite complementary color of the blue, making the shadow deeper naturally, but it also works very well with the hue we want to achieve. And as always, we will work section by section very slowly and absorbing any excess. If you have any doubts on how to apply contrast type paints the best way possible, I have a video about that. In our case now, it's not that important because we will do a dry brush over this, meaning that, well, if the final result is not the best, well, it's not the end of the world. But the basics is, as you can see, to apply a lot of this, move it around and leave it to do its own thing, to level itself. And express paints are especially good at that job. And then we just absorb the excess and get a fantastically smooth final result. And now it's time to apply our dry brush on top of our express layer, and for that I'm going to go with my all-time favorite dry brush set, the ARTIFY 5-piece dry brush set. This dry brush set is absolutely amazing, not only because it's good quality hair, but also because the price is about 1/3 of Anti-Soap's with the same quality. It even comes with a sponge and a little soap container so you can clean your brushes. This is not a sponsored video, they haven't paid me to do this, but I have an affiliate link in case you want to get them from Amazon. Highly, highly recommended. As you can see, we have our purple marine. He's looking a little bit heretic right now, but still looking quite amazing. I'm always impressed at how smooth the express paints especially get over flat panels is quite impressive. And I'm going to start by dry brushing using Glazier again. This is going to be my only dry brush. And as I've been doing lately, I'm doing my dry brushing over my wet palette because I very much prefer that over a normal palette or a paper towel. And then I can start dry brushing. I'm going to start with the number 5, which is the second smallest. I'm going to go reasonably heavy here because I want the purple just to be on the recesses and on the shadow bits. But with this brush, I don't have enough control to do like small bits. So for this step, I'm just concentrating in general dry brush. I find that I rarely go any higher than the number 5 for 28mm models, but my favorite will be the next one, which is the number 3, which is a teeny dry brush, and it just does an amazing work. I have done all the work that I can do with the larger dry brush, and I'm going to move into number 3, my by far favorite one, especially for the small models, and I will use this just to pick up like very clear edges or to do some stippling work, to emphasize my highlights in certain points to create a more interesting underlayer for our next step. I have so much control with this brush, it's insane. This is by far the key step of this process. So the better you get the underlaying dry brush looking, the better the model is going to look overall at the end. So I would spend a little bit more time doing this than any other step. It really pays off in the long run if you do a good dry brush step. And now with our ultramarine looking like this, a little bit weird, but well, it's a trust the process kind of thing, we're going to do the final layer of Express. Over this pre-shade, this is going to be 3 parts Legacy Blue to 2 parts Express Medium. I've tried several combinations of this, and I found this to be the sweet spot for a pretty dark looking ultramarines, which they are. Macaque Blue is quite a dark color, surprisingly dark. And again, we go section by section, slowly building this up into our armor. We don't want this to pull too much because we want our pre-shade to shine. So I never go too heavy, just heavy enough. And I will try to absorb any of the excess in the areas where I don't want it to be. As I've said, the key here is to go slowly and not do too much. Just rely on the natural shapes of the armor and pick up each section one at a time. Express takes quite a long time to dry, so you have a little bit more leeway than with, let's say, contrast. Also, all the blue contrast paints, or most of them, are pretty awful. Especially Ultramarine's blue, which is just absolutely dog shit. But already you can see how awesome it looks. Our layer of Legacy Blue is finished, and if you ask me, he looks suitably smurfy. Very blue indeed. And if I'm honest, you could stop here and you would get an amazing looking army. But as usual, I'm going to show you how you can improve this with some final highlights. For this, I'm going to start with Cargar Blue, and I'm going to apply this as an edge highlight, especially towards the darker bits of the armor. As usual, I'm going to concentrate this highlight towards the front of the miniature. Alongside this edge highlight, we can do a volumetric highlight just by thinning down our Cargar Blue into a heavy glaze consistency and applying this as a heavy glaze in certain areas, like for example the knee pad or the shield here on the hip. Cargar blue is quite a transparent color, so you shouldn't have any issues doing this. With that highlight done, our Smurf is looking fantastic, and for the next highlight I'm going to go with the heavy metal route again and use Fenrisian Grey. Fenrisian Grey is going to be a super thin edge highlight focused exclusively on the most exposed edges and corners. As you can see, again, I am concentrating towards the picture part of the model and just putting those highlights where they are going to be worth it. Don't forget to also add the volumetric bits, just like that. There you go. And with that, I probably would call this done, but if you want to go the extra mile, just to make it look that much more like the heavy metal team do, just one final highlight of blue horror in the corners. Obviously this was taken from the absolutely amazing video by Infernal Brush, which is one of my favorite painters. So that extra bit of dot highlights, and they shouldn't be more than a single dot. The Ultra Smurf is finished, and if you want to see how I painted the rest of the model, you can see that in the extended version of this video in my Patreon. This was so easy to paint that I could even paint an army in blue, but I won't. Don't forget that if you like my videos and want to help me make them, you can follow me on social media. You have the links to all my social media in the description below and in the pinned comment of this video. Share and like this video, but most importantly, there is Patreon and channel members. Patrons and members allow me to do all the cool videos that I want to make, and most importantly, they allow me to keep releasing videos for free here on YouTube. Perks include access to an amazing Discord community full of lovely people, access to many more Patreon exclusive videos, and now also private one-on-one online tutorings. Help me and join the list of the coolest persons in the planet, including Rob Hassal, Stephen K, JP Andre, Bladovic, James Buttershill, Agnes Feher, Arnaud, Jay, MRN Stewart, Kevin Price, Anthony Panullo, The Salty Squire, Jared Hughes, Rob Jewett, Eric McKenzie, Daniel McCormack Smelt, Mac Angry, Max G, Dave Griffiths, Victor, Cory Tickler, Lugubrious Cramhorn, Zoe Sifayet, Emilio Engix, 3Gs, Marco Parasnik, James Coplin, Rogelio Thomas, Geek Daddy, Wandering Paria, King Tango, TTSS Productions, Jay Hoover, Nicholas Acebar, Minis Baye, Benjeline, Dan Crandall, Emily Queen of Sloth, Nicholas Davis, Agon David, Pablo Cuesta, Benjamin Barbet, Pumpkin Hill, Chris Black, Jacob, Matthias Babiuk, Andre Michensko, Aaron Miller, Jake Stein, Stefan Zimmerman, Tom, Dr. Mag, Martin Rivera, Sheshwal, PJM, Matt Wallis, Mark Carter, Hendricks, Chester Roche, Adam Foots, Tyler Hughes, Chris G, Allman Gaming, Spacey Joe, Mark Watson, Hamish Donald, Matthew Lang, Stavros Stavro, Star G, Mark Reguera, Romain, Ars Miniatura, Just Rex, Dr. Cathaber, Angelos Alexos, Des, Giovanni, Giuseppe Nicolancona, Mark Velencoop, Felice Franke, Aaron Versten, Daniel Ramin, Bowsy, Terry Tenham, Planche, Biome, Howard Holben, Stephanie All, Richard St. Pierre, Stephen Rockford, Roy Nelson, Oscar Jonathan Torbeck, Nick Nguyen, Dan Mako, Cristalios, Norman, Bartosz Badensky, Kevin Mian, Darcy Farran, Edius Maximus, Kevin Mota, Adam Thaxton, Heather Amstead, Mark Atkinson, Mark Jarvis, Fergal, Josh Simpson, Christoph Moret, G-Force, Dr. V, Nan Lindemann, Kieran Murther, Andrew Dyer, and Kevin Sullers. And as for me, I will catch you in the next one. Bye!